So after all this time, I finally decided to do a review on Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's get into it. So back in December of last year, I decided to watch the Spider-Man movie, and to be honest, it's actually one of the greatest movies I've ever seen from Marvel. Anyway, so getting into the plot. So, Spider-Man's identity was revealed by Mysterio, and now he has to try and live that. I think I just hit the mic on my knee. But Spider-Man has to try and live his life now that his identity is revealed as Spider-Man by Mysterio from the last film. And things get pretty hard to deal with, and in the film there's been some controversy of Spider-Man about him killing Mysterio. I don't think he actually did. Oh, could have been a writing mistake, or maybe Mysterio made it look like that he died, and he could still be out there, who knows. But anyway, so Peter tries to hire a lawyer, which in this case it is Daredevil from the Netflix series. And because Daredevil wasn't Spider-Man No Way Home, that absolutely confirms that Daredevil is canon to the MCU. And sometime later in the film, Peter starts to feel bad for his friends, Ned and MJ. So he tries to go to Doctor Strange to find a way to reverse what Mysterio did. But he doesn't have the Time Stone anymore, so he can't do that. So instead, what Peter tries to do is ask Doctor Strange to make the world forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But it gets out of hand pretty quickly if you saw the trailers. So each and every villain from every other Spider-Man film, including not MCU Spider-Man films, which we'll get to in a minute, they somehow magically appear in Peter's universe, the MCU. So Doctor Strange tries to erase them from this universe, but what Peter is told about these villains is that they died fighting Spider-Man, and somehow Peter is affected by this. So Strange and Spider-Man clash together, and after that, Doctor Strange is banished by Peter to the mirror dimension. And so after that, he tries to fix all the villains so that they don't die from fighting Spider-Man in their universes. But rewinding back a little bit, Dr. Otto Octavius, or Dr. Octopus, I guess, he for some reason thinks that Peter in the MCU, you know what, I'm just gonna call them by their actor names. So Dr. Otto Octavius thinks that Spider-Man, well, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, since that is the universe that he came from. And after a bit of a fight and a rescue, Otto finds out that Tom Holland's Peter, is not the same Peter as from his universe. And a little nod to the first film, Tobey Maguire's film, well, second film. Apparently, Otto Octavius, his robotic arms, they're actually nanotech, just like Peter's suit that he was fighting Otto in. So that way, Peter is able to take control of Dr. Otto Octavius's arms, his claws. But then Green Goblin comes in, played by Willem Dafoe. And then after that, Doctor Strange portals Peter and Octavius into his secret room or whatever. And that's where Spider-Man and Doctor Strange had a little battle. And so after that, Peter tries to fix every single one of the villains. Oh yeah, I kind of skipped his battle with Electro and Sandman.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Anyway, so Peter tries to fix all of the villains, supposedly, but Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin gets a bit out of control at the last second, therefore turning all the villains against him. Oh, and then there's the death of Aunt May. which really sucks too. That scene really got me emotional in the theater. Well, not actually, but it's a reaction I would have done. So after Aunt May's death, Peter takes it really hard. And Ned, who has Doctor Strange's finger ring thing that gives him the magic, he accidentally summons Peter Parker twice. But this time, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Mans. Or Spider-Men, I don't know. I don't know the plural now, just yet. I don't think there is one yet, but still. And so they eventually fight off the villains, fixing them and bringing them back to their universes. But then, something even worse happens. The multiverse breaks out! But Doctor Strange can't handle them all! So Peter suggests that all the villains forget who Peter is. Who Peter Parker is, I mean. And so everyone is sent back to their universes, and then that's where the story ends. I know I missed a few details, which I'm probably not going to get into. Well, whatever. So, what would I rate Spider-Man No Way Home? Well, I would give it a whopping 10 out of 10. Great movie. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it too. Therefore, making it the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. Heck, greatest Marvel movie of all time. At least as of right now. There could be more in the future. And we even got to see pretty much most of the villains from previous Spider-Man films. Although, we might get another one with more villains. Well, new villains. At least ones we haven't seen yet in the movies. But, whatever. I'm not going to get into too much detail about that. So, anyway, that pretty much covers Spider-Man No Way Home. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, check out my main channel if you'd like. Click the notification bell if you want to see more movie reviews like this. I'll do another one on the Batman. And that's all you gotta do, so goodbye.